Hello everyone, I'm Thrash Maniac HD, and this is just going to be a quick topic video as well as some plugs. First, the topic, it's about TNA. I haven't talked a lot about TNA for a while, and that's really because I really haven't watched too much of TNA in the last several months, and that's because I'm just losing faith in TNA. I wish the company was doing better than what they are right now. I wish they would step up their game and stop doing stupid stuff and just be an alternative. And I know people out there's some people who will say they are an alternative. No, they're not. TNA is practically another version of WWE now. Really, it's all because of Hulk Hogan having his 2 cents into what TNA was doing. And it's still happening that way, even with Hulk Hogan not even there, TNA's still doing a bunch of stupid crap. And now with Jeff Hardy being gone, and Jeff Jarrett officially gone, and AJ Styles gone, really, who's gonna watch TNA anymore? Really, the whole thing with AJ Styles was pretty much the end of the line for most TNA fans, including myself. Because AJ Styles was one of my 5 big reasons I would tune into TNA. Now, without AJ Styles, I really don't have much interest in watching it anymore. And also, it's because of the stupid crap they do on a weekly basis, particularly Dixie Carter. I think Dixie Carter is the biggest moron in wrestling history because she knows nothing about wrestling at all. And she even admits it. You watch the History of Year One documentary they did. She didn't know a damn thing about wrestling. Not the first thing about wrestling at all. The only reason she was in charge of the company was because her mommy and daddy said so. Pretty much because, and this is for people who don't know, it was back in the winter 2002 into early 2003. Robert Carter bought TNA from the Jarretts, and Robert made his wife the CEO, and they made their daughter Dixie the president of the company. That's why Dixie's in charge of the company, is because her mommy and daddy said she could be in charge. And that was a mistake from the start. TNA had their golden years from the early days until about 2008, when 2008 was kind of an up and down year. 2009 was good, but then since 2010, minus 2012, 2010 to now has been the worst time to watch TNA. Although 2012 was a pretty good year, I would say. But every other year, 2010, 2011, 2013, and right now, it sucks. And 2010 was the worst year in TNA history, and 2013 was pretty damn close. Because, the whole thing with TNA doing invading angles over and over and over and over again, the NWO cannot be redone. Some people won't get it in their heads. The NWO cannot be redone. The NWO was great. Any other invading stables, factions, the Nexus had potential. The Shield has been pretty good. But, the factions TNA's done, now we're invading angles. Besides the original Main Event Mafia and the whole Planet Jarrett Team Canada stuff, those were good and entertaining. But every other one they've done was bad. Like frickin' Immortal and Aces and Eights are the 2 worst factions, up there with the Dungeon of Doom as being part of the worst factions in wrestling history. More particularly the Aces and Eights, like that and Immortal, both of those things just went on and on and on, and it wasn't good. It was bad. This is my opinion, by the way. This is all my opinion. I thought those 2 factions were just awful. They were just awful. Aces and Eights was worse than Immortal. And Aces and Eights did have something unique in the beginning, but then they just lost and lost and lost, booked horribly. Everything was just done terribly with Aces and Eights. And the fact that it went on longer than it should have was a mistake from the start. Same with Immortal. I mean, and TNA, and the big part of what I have a problem with TNA is the stuff they do backstage. With the money. And now TNA, they lost Universal Studios. So now they don't have a place right now to do Impact. Unless they go back on the road, which will be their only option, TNA's done. I mean, and even if they go back on the road, they're gonna be done, in my opinion, because when they were on the road last year, they lost a lot of money. When they did go back to Universal Studios, they were starting to do okay again. Now that they lost Universal and they're probably going to end up having to go on the road, they're just going to start losing money again because they don't... And this is a problem with when blind TNA fanboys have, is that TNA does not have the tools to compete with WWE. And I hate it when people say, TNA, they're going to be better than WWE. They're going to reign supreme. And I say to that, you are nuts. Because TNA, for one, and most and foremost, they don't have the money. They don't have the money to compete with WWE. Some blind TNA fanboys can't get that through their heads. TNA does not have the money to compete with WWE. Their shows barely get a 1-point-something rating every week. Hell, Total Divas beats Impact on the ratings, and that's saying something right there. And I mean, Total Divas is pretty stupid and obnoxious at times, but that's beating TNA. So when you have Total Divas beating the supposed number 2 wrestling promotion in the world, you know you're not doing that great. And Spike TV's even starting to lose faith over it. I mean, hell, I bet you here very soon Spike TV's gonna cut away Impact altogether. And really, when that happens, TNA's out of business. I mean, as much as some people may hate me for saying that, it's the bitter truth. It's a bitter pill people need to swallow. If Spike TV gives up on Impact and takes it off the air, TNA's finished. The only chance TNA has right now is to sell the company to somebody not Vince McMahon, someone who knows wrestling and knows business. Sell it to them, and they can revamp it in a good way, make it a real alternative like TNA was in the beginning. And if they would have just stuck to being an alternative, they would be a distant number 2. But they're the supposed number 2 wrestling company in the world. And I mean, and I'm not saying all these things to hate on TNA. I'm saying all these things because I'm disappointed with them. Because I like TNA, but not at this moment because of the stupid stuff they do. And if they go out of business, I'll be sad because I don't want TNA to go away, because TNA needs to be around because it gives another place for the boys to work. And even though it's not that alternative, it is different from WWE in a way. But anyways, that's all I've got to say about what I think of TNA at this point. Like I said, if they lose Spike TV, TNA's out of business. But anyways, that does it for that topic. Now for some plugs. I got 4 plugs. First, subscribe to Heel Steven if you haven't already. His link will be in the description box. He's a great, underrated YWC member who knows what he's talking about when it comes to wrestling. The next 3 are Create a Wrestler or CAW Federation channels. There's the YWF, and if you guys haven't subscribed to the YWF already, sub now. Link is in the description. Coming up, we've got upcoming episodes of Explosion and Mayhem, where yours truly will be on the next episode of Explosion in a match. Game-wise, at least. And then another one that you should really check out is Caw of Honor, COH. Link in the description. Check that out. Great stuff. I'm a part of it, and a bunch of other good friends of mine on YouTube are a part of it. And then the third and final plug for Caw Federation groups is my own, ICW. Link is in the description box. Sub now. And coming soon, I believe I'm probably going to have it up tomorrow, the first episode of ICW Velocity. I liked how it turned out. Still learning on editing the stuff together, but luckily I got somebody to help me out with that for the next episode that I do. So there you go. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. Peace.